Hey, gorgeous.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you, pretty lady?
I'm so good. I'm so good. Thank you for chatting with me.
Thank you for chatting with us. We appreciate you.
Of
How
course.
is quarantine going? I'm asking everybody that because, hey,
It's going. And the funny thing is I'm doing that thing where I'm still working because I'm always working and I have to be working and
right.
just reading scripts over and over again and doing whatever work I can for Power and then a few other projects. And it's just continuing to push yourself. But I think the beautiful thing about being in quarantine is when you need to stop, you can stop.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
That's true. So you're from originally. You were born in Texas, in Humble,
Yes.
Texas. Yeah, I'm from Houston, that area. So, but you grew up in Portland. Is that right?
Yeah, I grew up outside of Portland in a town called Happy Valley,
Okay.
which is, the
Yeah.
best name for a town ever. But yeah, I grew up here. This is where I learned music. It's where I learned and honed in on all my singing techniques. And I was ready at 17 to get out of here, and I moved to New York. And yeah, did the
How
thing.
did you get into Broadway? Because we're going to get into that. Tony nominated too, by the way. Let's give you your accolades, your flowers while you're here. But how did you even? Was it when you were small that you said, "Okay, this is something that I want to get into theater," or like what? At what moment did you say, "Okay, this is the career path that I want to take"?
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting because I'm adopted.
Mm-hmm.
And so my parents were very involved in the theater community, both professionally and when they were in college. And so I always had theater,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and but I didn't understand, like, I understood storytelling and I understood the elements of storytelling, but I didn't understand that it was a business.
Right.
I didn't understand that it could be a career. And so when I went to high school and I got to see that, you can go to college to do this. You
Right.
can have a career. I wasn't necessarily honed in on like, yeah, I'm going to be a billionaire and I'm
Right.
going to have all this money and a
Right.
million followers on Instagram. Like, I kind of just, I wanted to be able to be a storyteller. And I loved the element of, being adopted. I loved being able to adapt to different stories
Right.
and different people's pain and joy. And so going back when I was about a sophomore in high school, I was like, okay, this is really what I'm going to do as a career.
Okay.
And I just put my head down and did the work. And I went to college for it. And I was in college for a year. And then Once on This Island happened.
That's what I was going to get into next. I mean, so how did that happen? How you started this musical, Broadway musical, Once on an Island. Tell us how you got involved with that project, because that's
Yeah,
life changing.
it was life-changing, and it all happened so fast. I wasn't ready. No, it's really funny. I was in my spring semester at school, and we knew that, a little backstory is, I, as a freshman, in most performing arts colleges, you're not allowed to audition for work until, you're at least a junior or a senior.
Okay.
And so I was 17 in college with, actually, because it was a conservatory, I was a 17-year-old amongst a lot of 25-year-olds, 24-year-olds, and then some. It was bizarre my year. A lot of people were much older and much more prepared to kind of take on the world in a different type of way.
Right.
But it was spring semester, and I remember I had just had lunch with a really beautiful mentor of mine, Kevin Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And he works with the August Wilson Red Door Project. The August Wilson Monologue Competition is like the best. It's a competition for kids across the United States. He's just the greatest. And you know, he gave me a lunch full of inspiration, and because I was having a really tough time being in school. And I'm walking back to class from this lunch, and I get a phone call.
Oh my gosh.
And it's from Bernie Telsey, who, you know, his office, it wasn't Bernie Telsey himself. The office is called Telsey and Co. And someone called and said, you know, hey, we're doing this world search for the lead of this Broadway show. This is what you have to know. This is who's going to be in the room. Is this something you'd be interested in doing?
And what did you pause? Did you say, like, let me put the...
No, I said yes. But the thing about it is, I didn't even think about anything else. I just said yes.
Right.
And I had an audition the next day.
Oh, wow.
Because they were in final callbacks.
Oh,
and
my
so God. I stayed up all night, and I really just, you know, put my head down and did the work and learned some songs, learned some scenes. Then I went in that next day and I auditioned, and then I auditioned again the day after that. And then they asked me to do some workshops over the summer, so I dropped out of school and I did some workshops. And then in the fall, they asked me to do the show, and then we opened the show that December.
Wow. And then opened the show to you being nominated for, I mean, for a Tony. How did that feel? I mean, so you go from, okay, this is a life-changing opportunity, oh my God, to, okay, now I'm being nominated for a Tony. That's amazing. Yeah. How did that feel for you?
It's so funny, honestly, because it was so weird. Because there are some people that do Broadway shows, and like they are going to win a Tony Award. Like their whole thing is like, I came to the show, I'm here, I blessed you with my presence, now give me a Tony.
Right.
And so this little 18-year-old kid just sitting here like,
what?
The Tonys are an amazing thing. I really just wanted to perform. My whole goal was like, please get the show nominated so we can perform at the Tonys at Radio City. And I was not
you did perform at the Tony Awards.
We did.
So how was that experience as well?
It was one of the best nights of my life. And you know, it was a little scary because other than my director and his partner, they were the only ones sitting near us. I was the only one because I was the only one from the show that got nominated. And so, you know, it was scary and exciting, but like I didn't even want, like I wasn't like going in there like, yeah, I'm gonna win a Tony and this is my year. It was more of like, let me enjoy and embrace all of it. I mean, even when because you know, there's an award. It's like any other award season with the Emmys or the Oscars or the Grammys. And so I was never like, there was never a competitive nature with me. It was just like, let me just have fun. Let me show up and do my show at 110%. If people love it, great. If people don't love it, great. Like, you know what I mean? It was simple.
Totally.
It's just simple.
It's amazing. You've signed on to join the cast of Power Book 3. You'll be playing Jukebox. And we were introduced to her in the Power series with Noni Rose. And so tell us about, you'll be playing the younger her. So tell us a little bit about your character in the younger Jukebox. And also, will you have a musical component in the show? Will you be able to show us your beautiful voice?
I can't say too much about what happens with Jukebox yet. Okay. But what I can share is that, I think the most exciting thing, the exciting element was, I loved Jukebox on Power. Yeah. I thought she was scary. She is not sane. She was not a sane human. She's crazy, she's wild, she's powerful, she's a powerful woman, and in the midst of all of the chaos that was happening within that world, she was just this beast. I mean, even 50 was saying, you know, she was just crazy. And so when I got the audition material and they had asked to see me for Juke, I was excited because the cool thing about where we're at, even with Kanan, with young Kanan, is this is before they are who they are.
Right.
And so we get the exciting task of telling that story and getting them there.
Right.
Which is exciting for me because I know what she's like
Right.
and I know who she becomes.
Right.
So it's so exciting. And, you know, she loves to sing. Juke is a singer. So it's exciting. You know, I feel a lot of ties to Juke, the good and the bad. And doing what you have to make it. And I understand that element of life, just surviving everyday life. And
right.
So, you know, throw it in the late 80s, early 90s in South Side. Like that's a whole nother adventure. And so it's really exciting. I'm so excited. And we were in the midst of filming, so I love everybody in the cast. I love our directors. I love our writers. It's a beautiful blessing and opportunity for sure.
I'm super excited. I talked with Levy like last week. I think she's also going to be on it as well. I can't wait to see what you guys bring. I know you're going to bring it. Tell us, Hailey, about your role in the highly anticipated film Respect. You know, we have to this. Tell us about that experience. First of all, how did you get this project? How did this project land in your lap? And tell us what role you'll be playing.
Yeah, so basically after Once on This Island closed, I was already doing a TV show. I was doing The Village on NBC, and that was just a special guest star role that I had been asked to come in for. LaShawne's also had a character with a storyline, and she was the original Timoon in Once on This Island in the original version. So I had been doing lots of TV. I did Steven Spielberg's Amazing Stories
on Apple,
and so I was kind of just on a roll, really. And I did a few pilots and stuff, and then I went back to doing theater. And I remember, you know, we all knew that Jen was gonna play. I can't even believe I can call her Jen because I know her. It's like it's weird.
Jennifer Hudson, everybody.
We're
Hudson.
Talking
about Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah. You know, we all knew she was going to be and we all knew she was going to be, you know, amazing. And so I was just excited as a fan of Aretha Franklin. So I remember when they started casting the main roles of the family and Ted, Marlon, and everybody, I just went in and was like, let me honestly just go in and kind of like be amazing.
Yeah.
And just
like, were you nervous at all?
Oh God, yeah.
Okay.
The director Liesl Tommy is legendary, and she's only just now being given the opportunity to direct on such a larger scale. But she's been doing this forever.
Right.
And so I had great respect for her. I had great respect for her work, and so I was like, let me please go in and nail it. And the funny thing that happened was I did a test and I did, a regular audition. So once I did my regular audition, I was doing, 2 other shows at the time. And, you kind of have to, as an actor, audition and move on.
Right.
And this interesting thing happened in that I started to, because I didn't realize that Carolyn Franklin, who I play, her youngest sister, she wrote a lot of her songs. And so I started going down this hamster wheel of this woman. I mean, she's a revelation. She's extraordinary. And, had she not been there, you wouldn't have had some of Aretha's greatest songs.
Right.
It wouldn't be the same. And so this weird fascination built on Carolyn. And then I got asked to come in for the whole team and audition. And then I got it. And the experience was the 6 months that we were in Atlanta and New York. We did both, but I learned so much. You know, I think the main thing I heard a lot was people were very worried about me not finishing college and me not getting my education. And in a weird way, I've always been training for this my whole life in this weird, undescribable way.
Right.
Because I'm always ready. But doing stuff like Broadway, the Aretha Franklin movie, where I was the young, other than the children in the cast like Sky and the actual kids playing kid versions of our characters, I'm the youngest by years.
Wow.
So yeah, it was the best school ever, every day.
What did you learn? What did you learn about Aretha from this film, working on this film, that you didn't know prior to going in? What did you learn?
Oh God, we learned everything.
What's one thing that stuck out to you?
Oh God, she there's so many.
Just one that sticks with you that you were like, wow, I didn't know that. Oh my God. I mean, I know it was plenty of those moments.
I mean, you know what a really interesting thing for me was when we were doing our research and our dialect work and all that stuff, was watching her when she first started out in her career, when she still traveled with her dad, CL. And what she was singing was kind of whack. And we all know it, and the family knew it. But she, like, if you go back and watch some of the older stuff, you're just like, why were you singing that? Why were you singing like that? And then that first live performance of her own original music,
right,
being played the way she wanted it to be played with the band that she wanted, and just that, like, jaw-dropping, just, that's who Aretha is to the world. It was really interesting to watch, just getting all of this footage of her that no one has ever seen. I mean, right. You know, it's interesting. We forget people at the what people have to go through at the beginning of their careers. You know, we all focus on what happens after they're famous, and so to me, it's always interesting who they were before.
Right. That's true. What have you discovered about yourself, Hailey, along this journey that you may not have known about yourself prior to starting out? What have you, like, discovered, where it be strengths, weaknesses, or what have you discovered about you?
I am a lot stronger than I give myself credit for.
I love it.
And that's a positive. I just am smarter and stronger than I even let myself admit. It's something that everybody that goes through this industry, you know, you have so many people, especially when you're young, telling you everything that's right and everything that's wrong, and you got to fit in this box and that box, and it's not true.
Not true.
So it's just, you know, everybody has this hidden strength, and I think the moment you start to see it within yourself, how fortunate am I that at only 21 do I have that figured out.
Right.
And it's just, and I love to work. I also have a work addiction, which can be good and bad.
Right.
Because I'm always, even in this hiatus, my producers from Power are like, honestly, like, stop emailing me and asking me these questions, because I just don't know right now.
Right.
I have to teach my kids right now.
Right. What's a piece of advice you would give to people that are watching this or that will watch it later that are 21 or they're maybe 31 and they're wanting to journey out and find the career that they love, or they're wanting to pursue the career that they love? And
you can do anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, you can do anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
You could start in one career and move to a different career at any point. I've watched my dad do it. You know, and the cool thing about watching my dad was, and his struggles was, we had a period of time where we had it really good and we were living pretty easy, and then we had a period of time when we weren't, and then we've gone back. It fluctuates, you know.
Right.
And the cool thing about my dad is he's just always doing the work, which is why he always ends up okay.
Right.
Well, I credit my dad for that for sure, and my mom.
Yeah.
And the thing is so that brings me back to, you can do anything you want to do if you do the work. If you really do the work, you know, and pace yourself. That doesn't mean you have to write the world's, you know, best novel in 10 days.
Right.
But you just have to pace yourself and do the work, and you can do anything. That could be a career, it could be college, it could be relationships.
Right.
You know.
Love it. Who would you like to work with that you haven't worked with already? You've already worked with some pretty
Right.
bum people. Who would you like to work with?
Well, okay, I have to. I would really, again, Heather Hadley's in respect as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to actually work with her on a
Okay.
project, because I think I think the world of her.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, especially after watching her work,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like
Blown away.
I love Heather Hadley, and obviously Viola Davis.
Everybody says that. You're like the third person to say that.
Obviously Viola Davis, because she is it. Actually, and Angela Bassett, because Angela came to see Once on This Island, and she was so nice to me, and she gave me the best advice, and so I would like to work with her too. But yeah, it's an ever-changing list.
You have a beautiful voice, as I mentioned earlier. Would you like to put out an album? Is that something that you've thought about? Or single?
I'm working on music now.
Okay.
And it's independent. I didn't want to do, the thing is, like, and I wish my generation would kind of learn this, slow down and learn, like, I don't know. I just don't want to be like a thing. Everything doesn't have to be like a thing.
Right.
And so for me, I'm inspired by people like Shoshana Bean, Kiana Lede. There's this musician, her band name is Stones Music. I just love, even Doja Cat did it, where it's just like SoundCloud.
Yeah.
It's out there, people can vibe to it, but you know, not making it a big.
Girl, your voice is a big deal. Make it a thing. You're bomb. Hailey, thank you so much for talking to us today. I'm so excited to see the film. When is it going to be released? Because the original date got pushed back. Is that right?
Yeah, it's going to be in December, I think.
Okay.
We actually, as a cast, we are just as like up in the air as everyone else.
Okay.
Like literally, the preview came out with Jen, and they sent out an email, and they were like, "By the way, the preview's out," and we were like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, December 24th, maybe.
Right in time for Christmas.
Ish, kind of. And it's gonna be amazing. And I can just tell you, because I saw some of the dailies, it's, you know, Jen's performance is beautiful. She sings like nothing else. Obviously Forrest and Marlon. Marlon, I think, is definitely, people are gonna be so proud of him, and I'm just so proud to be a part of it, you know.
Such a blessing. Would you consider this your dream job? Was that a dream role of yours?
I mean, every job is a dream job. It's, you know, it's every job is what you make of it, every experience. And so I go into every, I love Marlon. I hounded Marlon and asked him so many questions, because I was just like, I just want to learn, you know, right now.
Beautiful. I love you. Hey, thank you so much for talking to us. No, I love your spirit. I love your hustle, your drive. I'm sure you're motivating a lot of young people out there, and even older people. So keep going, and we're rooting for you, boo.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hailey.
Bye.
Bye.